Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Ryan Wright from Fruitland, Idaho. Drove in 5 runs on Saturday to help the Stars to a sweep over Texas Wesleyan. And talk about that day you had. You had 5 RBIs on 3 hits that day.
Just one of those days, seeing the ball well, kind of looked like a beach ball coming in, and I was fortunate in getting some good counts, get some good pitches, and just put the barrel on the ball, and they found some holes and had those knocks.
Since mid-March, you're hitting about 400. What's gone into your kind of resurgence at the plate?
Just kind of getting comfortable again. I had a rough first 10, 12 games of the season. Just was figuring some things through my swing after I came back from break that weren't feeling quite right. But now I've got all those things ironed out, and I mean, credit to Keith Lytle and Bobby Spain and a lot of my hitting coaches for working with me and staying patient when I was going through that rough time. But it now seems like all things are clicking, and I'm just looking to keep that going through the rest of the season and into postseason as well.
The team came up big with the series win over Oklahoma Baptist a week or so ago. Talk about what went into that series.
I mean, in all honesty, we've been looking forward to that series for quite some time. And I mean, I know you hear coaches saying, you know, take it one game at a time, but that was really a series we'd been looking forward to for about 2 weeks before that. And so, I mean, a lot of the emotions were high. We were really looking forward to playing those guys, and I mean, it was just a lot of fun. I played in a lot of big games before between state championships and regional championships and junior college ball, but I mean, nothing compared to playing the #1 team in the nation, you know, unbeaten. We really wanted to come in and take a piece out of those guys, and we did the things we needed to and got 2 big wins.
I understand you're into fly fishing.
I am, yeah. That's kind of my hobby. Whenever I got spare time, whenever I head home, even in the winter time when I go back over break, I do a lot of fly fishing with my buddies, and then all throughout the summer, if I'm not in the cages hitting or working out, I'm spending time out on the river, so that's what I like to do.
I mean, what's your major here at OCU?
My major is kinesiology, but I'm actually pre-med. I'm looking to go to med school once I'm done with school. I've got another year after this, and then I'll start applying and hopefully get into med school.
What gave you the urge to go to med school?
Something I've always really wanted to do. I enjoy helping people, and I thought the best way to do that was to find a profession where I could every single day, and kind of my goal is to become an orthopedic surgeon and work with a sports team as their team doctor, so I can still stay in that athletic realm as well, but still pursue my dream of being a doctor. So.
Great. Talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Ryan Wright. You can follow the Stars baseball team on OCUsports.com.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at naia.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to baseball coach Denney Crabaugh. The Stars have risen to 4th in the national rankings. And Coach, part of that rise to 4th place was a win over then #1 and undefeated Oklahoma Baptist. Take us through that series.
Well, it was a classic OCU-OBU series. A lot on the line, a lot of emotion. 2 really good teams going after one another. And it was one of those series where we had a chance to sweep, and we kind of lost that chance in the first game. We kind of gave up some runs with 2 outs, and some unfortunate things happened, but you know, we could have got beat a couple of times too. But it was just a classic series. It was a series that I think that really showed our team that we are worthy of being in the national rankings and high, and we are a national contender.
You followed that series up with a series sweep over Texas Wesleyan. Who had some standout performances in that series?
Jared Baker had a good series. Connor Lynch kind of broke out of a little mini slump he's had in that series. Joe Lytle had a good series. And then we had some other guys that stepped up in different games. Josh Halbert in the first game had a couple of hits and some RBIs. And then the last day, Ryan Wright stepped up with 5 RBIs, I think, on the day and on Saturday in a doubleheader. And We had some guys pinch hit. J.J. Bissell came in with a pinch hit two-run singles. So we had different guys step up, and our pitchers threw pretty good. They threw strikes for the most part and kept them in check, and we didn't give up many runs. And all in all, it was a pretty solid weekend for a conference weekend.
Your pitching staff is starting to round into form right now. Who's in your rotation right now?
Well, right now in the conference, we've been going Carlos Chavez, Dustin Cook, and Matt Young. Those guys have been our three guys that have been going. Grant Hamilton's another guy who's seen a lot of time. He's been coming out of the bullpen a little bit, and other guys, Holden Lyons and Miguel Gonzalez, those are 7 guys that we've kind of been hanging our hats on a little bit, and Skylar Janice is another guy, but those are the guys that have seemed to get a lot of the pitching time, and those are the guys that are going to have to ride if we're going to make it to Lewiston.
Reggie Wilson has been one of your offensive leaders, along with guys you've mentioned, Jared Baker, Joe Lytle, and Connor Lynch. Talk about your team's offensive performance of late.
Well, it's starting to get better. I think with the change in temperatures and a little bit of more of a south wind, the guys are starting to swing the bats better. Our team batting average has gone up for almost 20 points in the last couple of weeks, and it starts at top. Reggie's really gotten hot, and when he's on base, he makes things happen, and all down the line. Hitting is contagious, and it seems now that those guys that have been most consistent all year, Reggie and Joe and Jared, they've been most consistent all year, and they're continuing to do that. Now the other guys, like Ryan Wright, is starting to hit like he's capable of hitting, and other guys, JJ's got to come in through, and it's one of those things where I really think our offense is starting to get in the shape that we need it to be, because we're going to have to hit if we're going to go in deep into the playoffs.
Speaking of the playoffs, it's about time for the opening round sites to be announced, and your team is in position to be named one of the hosts for the opening round tournament in the NAIA. How big would that be to be named one of the host sites?
Well, it's huge, because it's a huge advantage, because you're playing at home, you're comfortable with the surroundings, you're comfortable with the settings, not only on the field, but you're in your own bed, so to speak, in the dorms and stuff like that. So there's not a big change in routine. Plus the fact that if we end up hosting and we can keep our national rank where it is, we're going to end up being a #1 seed, which being a #1 seed in an opening round tournament, there is an advantage there. And like I told our guys, we've won 9 times on our field that sent us to Lewiston, so I like the odds.
You've got 9 former players that are going to be playing professionally when pro baseball gets underway, including Ruben Sosa, who's in AAA right now. Talk about some of those guys.
Well, Ruben, he's one of those guys who he loves playing the game, and he plays it hard, plays it with a lot of passion. And he got an opportunity because somebody got on the DL to go up for the Red Hawks a couple of years ago as a fill-in, and got to play and showed that he can play at that level. And all of a sudden now he's on a AAA roster. Some of the other guys, we've got a lot of guys in AA and working their ways up. But I'm so proud of all of them. They get a chance to do that, and they go play because they represent the university and this baseball program. And I just can't wait to see who's going to be the next major leaguer. It might be Ruben, might be somebody else. But you can bet I'm going to go watch him play in a big league uniform when it comes time.
What inspired you to get into coaching?
My father. He was a coach for over 37 years, and just growing up around coaches and talking, listening to the X's and O's of the situation and strategies, and seeing that, and it really put a hook in me, and seeing the impact that they made on people's lives, impact that coaches made on my lives. And I know that I wanted to be that. I wanted to be able to be in a position to make impact on young men's lives, and so far it's worked out pretty good for me. I've enjoyed it, but those things like that, those personal relationships you have with your players, it goes beyond the winning and losing and stuff, and those are things that really make this job worthwhile.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Talking to OCU baseball coach Denney Crabaugh. Final month of the regular season. You can follow the Stars on OCUsports.com.